Future speakers. Oh, yes. Next week, we have Daniel, who is the author of Tablet Editor 3, going through semantic modeling at warp speed. So I don't know what he's going to throw at us, but it should be quite fun. And then we have Christian Angel. Christian, I've pronounced your surname wrong. Error catching in Power BI. Then Lazarus is going through data storytelling. I'm going to be showing you how you can use Power BI and Python together. Then we have Kerbal, the lovely, lovely Ruth, doing whatever she wants as far as I'm concerned. She's coming and I'm absolutely delighted, and she'll put on an amazing session. Then we have, if we may try and get some more speakers in March, third week of March, we're away for SQL Bits. Henrique has been exploring Visual Studio Code, Git and Power BI development, so we'll be giving a session to us on that. And then Melissa DeCourt is going to be going through preparing for a magical day with M, and I do have more people signed up. But if you're interested in speaking, even if it's your first go, please, please, please reach out to me, because it's something I'm really quite passionate about letting other people have the opportunity. So our speaker today is the amazing Laura GB. Laura, I met quite a few years ago now, and I met online to start with, and then obviously we met at different events, and she's actually been acting as a mentor for me for the last year, because Laura's a data platform MVP and also has been twisting my arm quite vigorously about getting up and standing up and presenting and supporting me. So she's become a really good friend of mine as well as a mentor. So it's not just the data and the community that you get out of things, you get to make friends as well. So, oh yes, and Christy is going to talk about CI and CD. We've talked about that. So please, by all means, get involved in the community. So let me pass over without any further ado to Laura, because she's got a packed session and I don't want you to miss anything. So I will stop sharing.
Right, let me just convince Teams to behave. Good evening, guys. Yes, I have been a mentor recently, otherwise known as a bully to Sue. It's one of the things. It's one of the things I do. It's one of the things as MVP too. We try to make sure that we do some mentoring as well as standing up being noisy. And my version is MVP, stands for massively vocal person. Right. So Power Automate, Power BI. I play in the Power Platform world on both the Power Platform side and the Power BI side. There's not many of us that do it, but there are a number of us. So there we go. So slide about me. Georgie B. I need to get rid of that Twitter handle because I rarely am on Twitter nowadays. But I go and I have other. If you look for Laura GB, I'm out on a number of things, or you look for Hatful of Data, you'll find me. I've got a blog, I've got a YouTube channel, and most of the demos I'm doing today, most of them, I've got a YouTube video to support what I'm doing. And when I currently work for Avanade, I'm a Power Platform consultant for them. They don't know what to do with me because I'm a data person and a Power Platform person. They can't work with that. But when I'm not doing work and I'm not doing other things, my passion in life is board games. And so this is one of my recent ones. It's a game called Photosynthesis. You grow trees. It's very cute. Right. So Power BI. We know what Power BI is. We're in the right user group for that. Transforms data, does heavy calculations, does some visuals. It does that stunningly well. Okay, it's one of the leaders. Power Automate is really good at doing things over and over again. It's really good at actively doing things, actually changing things, and reacting and responding to people pressing buttons and things happening. Okay. Microsoft, for once, have got their descriptions pretty good. Okay, so Power BI is to analyze your data. Power Automate is to act. Okay, real simple summary. There are things Power Automate shouldn't do. Please do not try and make it Power Integrate. It's not Power Integrate. If you are dealing with hundreds of thousands of rows of data, Power Automate is not your friend. Go and find something else to do it with. Okay, there's plenty of options. I'm sure Sue could find somebody to talk about that. So the best way to learn something is to have a problem to solve. Okay, the problem is, about a year ago I bought an exercise bike, and it does look like that. It doesn't have clothes hanging on it often, and I do occasionally ride it. But I was never going to ride it. Let's be honest. I'm not an exercising person. I'm not Sue, who does her marathons and things. So I went and found myself a grumpy coach. Let me introduce Grumpy Coach. This is a guy called Dan who lives in South Wales. So he's not even he's not even local, because I'm near London. So we use Strava to do the communication, and he can see when I've ridden, and he can see when I've been out for walks and all those kind of things. So that's what I use Strava for. So that's kind of a solution, but both Dan and I are both data people. So we decided we'd come up with a slightly more complicated solution. So take data. So the bike feeds stuff into the iFit, which is what the bike uses, feeds data into Strava. We pull it out as a kind of XML. I'll talk about that in a second. Goes into Power BI, and Grumpy Coach can read the Power BI report. Great, fantastic. Except Strava's XML is rubbish. It comes out as this weird Garmin file. So therefore, Power BI doesn't like it. And let's be honest, the Grumpy Coach doesn't like going and looking at Power BI. So we had to come up with another option. I'm a consultant. I work for a big partner. So if you set us a problem, our first solution is to get out Visio and to draw you a big complicated diagram. And so this is some of the demo. We're not going to demo everything here today. We really aren't. And there's another reason why we're not demoing everything today, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So take the Strava file. Oh, you can do that through RPA. No, we haven't got time today. So let's have another version of this slide. No RPA. Another day. I'll do RPA another day for you guys. So take Strava, XML file comes out. It's horrible. So I have a little Power Automate that cleans it. I'm not demoing that today. Perfectly happy to put out haven't even blogged it. I could blog that one another time. But it cleans it. It gets rid of some of the phrases in it. Then I save that file to SharePoint. Let's trigger a refresh to happen on my Power BI when a file gets added, because let's be honest, I don't cycle regularly. Then what else can we do from there? Well, one thing that we regularly get asked to do is to do write back. Okay, and we're going to look at 2 ways of writing back today. I normally only do one, but Sue's a demanding lady. So we're going to do write back. I'm going to show you how that works. Okay. And we've got a data set here. So maybe he doesn't want to come and have a look at Power BI, but maybe I could message him. Maybe I could pull data out. So I'm going to show you bits. Some of the demos are not going to be complete, purely because I could spend 2 hours doing this. Okay. And do you know what? I've just seen the comments in the chat that says, I would love that blog post. I will blog this one. I will blog this one, but there's another blog that Sue's requested before then. Okay, so
I'm very demanding.
It'll join the queue. So this is what I'm looking at. Okay, these are the little flows that I'm going to have a look at today. Now, do you remember the title of this session was what Power Automate? Please notice Power Automate and Power BI do well. So Sue then turned around and went, Coach, add comments to a ride. What do you think? Can we add a Power App to do that? What do you think? And I hate to think what else she's going to ask. But then she might be late to yoga. So we can be hopeful that she's not going to. Okay. So I'm not a PowerPoint person normally, so no more slides. It's demo time. So let me go and I'm going to start with showing you the report. Okay. So here's my report. Here's my rides I've done. Please don't notice the fact that there's almost no rides between January and October. There are some, I just haven't loaded them, but there also aren't as many as there should be. 10 days left on your trial. 10 days left. I'm not going to ask Miranda. So I've got my rides here. I can go and pick a ride. I'm going to pick a careful one that I've done something to. So that one I've populated. And if I go and have a look at the details section in here, hopefully. Takes a bit of time because it's actually got a... Where did those bits? I had some numbers on. Oh, there we go. There they appear. So I've got a ride here, and I do interval rides, okay? And this one has lots of little short intervals, and then it had some long intervals. And if I want to capture data, if I want to do more complicated things about it, I need to know which bits I'm in an interval, which bits recovery, and which bits are cool down at the end. Okay, so I've worked out a way of labeling them, and I've coloured them all up so they match these pastel colours down the bottom here. Yeah, probably not accessible. My apologies. And in order to do that, what I've done is I have so what we're going to do is we're going to go and publish that. So this part, I want to add a new ride in. So I'm going to publish this. And we've got a workspace just for today. So we want it that when a ride is added, okay, when a ride file is added, this gets refreshed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and let's go back over here, and hopefully, there we go. Let's make sure that it is. So we're going to go into here, make sure it behaves. And look, we've got 32 rides. Remember that bit, okay, please? And let's go back into the workspace and let's just make sure it will refresh for us. And whilst that is thinking about it, and I'll check it's going to refresh in a second, if I come back over to here, here is my folder that it's based off, okay? So what I want is I want a flow that will trigger off a new file arriving here, and it will refresh my flow. So that's what we're going to go and do. So let's go to Power Automate. Okay. And we're not going to use Copilot or anything clever like that, but I am going to use one nice little thing. Okay. That I'm going to go to Create. And it gives you a number of options up here. Weirdly, it's doing a weird thing in this. Let's go back up to 100. There we go. Describe it, design it. Okay. So we're going to click on there. And this isn't using Copilot. This isn't, you don't need a special license for this. This is this is asking you to describe something, and it will guess the flow for you. So when a new file in SharePoint, you don't even have to do very good English. Then refresh Power BI report. And you can see I've done this before. And then I'm going to click submit. And so there they are. That is the wrong one. I'm going to go and check another one.
All the time, isn't it?
I'm possibly going to stop doing this demo in a second. How bizarre. How bizarre. Show a different suggestion. When a file is created, that's the one I wanted. Okay, so it's giving me 2 suggestions. Okay, and so that's cool. I like that. And then there's the next button in the wrong place, in my opinion. It should be here, in my opinion, but never mind. I have lots of opinions. That's another thing about MVPs. We all have opinions, far too many. So we keep going and go create flow, and it comes in here. It gives you the new designer. If you don't like it, there's a button up here to turn it off. I spend a lot of time turning it off. But anyway, we'll behave for once. So go into here, site address. We are going to go for that one there. That was the conference I first did this demo at, and I've not moved since. We're going to go there and we're going to go for clean. So when a file appears in there, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to refresh a data set. So I come into here. I'm going to go and find my alphabetical Devon and Cornwall, the data set. Strava demo. Okay, and we're going to click save. Right. Whilst that is, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go to landed. I'm going to open up File Explorer. Obviously in the wrong window. And we're gonna load. I'm gonna drag in my new file, which is this one here. It's gone into landed, and this is where my process happens. And if you see, it's a little TCX file. Let me open one of those. Let me open that. No, it won't let me open that. I can't show you. It's an XML file, but it's got a whole lot of things about Garmin, and I haven't got a Garmin account, so I have to strip out all the parts in the XML file which are about Garmin. So that's what that is. I'm literally just waiting for that one to kick in. Okay.
I get mine out of Garmin, but they all come as JSON, but like a massive load of them.
Yeah. So I'm relying on Strava to do it for me. So I'm just going to do a quick refresh in there, see if that's going to. But that's going to. So there we are. There. No, that's not my one that I'm looking for. It'll come through in a minute. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna come back to that one in a second. Some
go slow for you.
It doesn't go slow. No, the demo gods. No, I'm doing something. I'm just quickly doing a check to make sure the refresh earlier happened. Okay. Yeah, that one completed. Cool. So so let's have a quick look at that report to check it's still saying only 32. There you are, it's only saying 32. We will come back and have a look at that in a second. So if we go back to my slides this way okay. Things I get asked to do. Okay, so one of the things we get asked to do is, so this is this one here, and we'll prove that's working in a second, but I am aware of how much stuff I am trying to do today. So I'm going to show you how this works, okay? I'm not going to do particularly a huge amount in it. I'm just going to show you how it works and it goes through, and I'm going to show you how this one works and do the very simple version of it. So they're the two that I'm working on next, but this one we'll do first, okay? So the write back data. So we're going to do this actually in Power BI. So what I've got is I'm going to go to one of my rides here, and I've got a add sections. Okay. And what I want to be able to, that's a bad ride to do, that hasn't got any intervals in it. What I want to be able to do is be able to mark that as the beginning of my section and mark somewhere over here, I'll guess somewhere, as my recovery. Okay, so this is my warm-up, and there should have been a recovery. It doesn't look like I probably did one this time. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I want a button down here to do that. So we're going to switch across to Power BI. I'm going to go to, let's do that one because that's a slightly better one. And here I am in my sections page. Okay. And what I want to be able to do, so I've set up some measures. I want to be able to click onto that chart. So I've picked a time. There's my activity ID. There's my recovery. Well, so no, that's going to be the beginning of an interval. So I've got a slice of there. Say interval. We're not going to react. There we go, interval. And I've got what the seconds were that I've clicked on here. Okay, so I've set up 3 measures. What we're going to do is we're going to write a flow that we can click a button that will save that back to my little table. So we are going to go up here. I am so on the new actions here on this. I keep changing Power BI and I don't like it. There's my Power Automate button. I'd like it down there, please. Now, Power Automate comes with a whole bunch of instructions in how to actually do what we're about to do. Okay, there's a whole bunch of instructions in here. Okay, the first thing it says is you've got to add some data. So I'll add data. Let's come into here and Power Automate data. Did I click on that one? I'm going to add data. I'm going to add in. I'm going to follow the 3 measures I've got up there. So activity section. I just realized what I have done. My apologies. I'm just about to go and do some. I'm just about to go and put that section back in because that was my slicer, wasn't it? I changed the slicer. I need to add a new slicer in a second. I'll do that. Sorry, guys, trying to break this report. I'm just going to put a slicer. What I did was I had it selected.
So when you press that, it changes. Yeah, it's easy done.
I wish it would turn around and go, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Christy said, or just undo the changes.
I've got that's probably quite a good idea, isn't it? I wonder how many Control Zs I can do.
Usually quite a lot. If it's I do things and then I go, oh, Control Z. That's really cool though. So you're going to click on your chart and then you'll be able to set up a flow to be able to click to capture 2 points and make that a specific thing.
So it's not going to click 2 points. I'm only going to click 1 point.
Click 1.
Okay. So that what I will be marking on there. What I will be marking on there is the can I convince it to do this? Wow, it's not going to let me do this, is it? I think I've upset the powers. Oh no, there we go. One more. Yay! Right. As anybody who's had to teach Power BI, unselect the visuals first. And then I'm going to go to Power Automate.
I think we've all done that before.
Oh, we've all done that. We've all done it while demoing, which is even worse. So what we're then going to do is we're going to come into here and I'm going to put in my activity ID. I have to admit, quite often, if I'm doing this, I will put in a, I'll call them all selected, or I'll call them all flow if I know that's the ones I'm going to use, just so you can find them.
Yeah.
So there's I've done that part, okay. And then what you do is you click on those 3 dots and you click edit. And what it does is it puts a version of Power Automate here nested inside Power BI. Okay. And so it's going to say, so as you can see, I've done this before. So we're going to go for a new flow. And I'm going to go for an instant cloud flow. So instant means I press a button for it to happen. It's not happening scheduled or automated on something else. The other thing I'm going to do, okay, and we're going to give it a name because Untitled is a horrible name. And we're going to call it Devon Add Strava. And then we're going to add in a new step. And I am going to go for SQL Server. And we are going to go for insert a row. Yes, this thing that I'm doing, it's going to require premium. Okay, so it's not this actual action. I'm writing back to SQL Server, so therefore it has to be a premium action. But you could be writing to a SharePoint list. You could be writing to an Excel file. All those things you could be doing. I am hoping it's just going to play ball. That's right, you play ball. Give me a database. I've only got one in there. Give me a table. I've only got one. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give me activities. Now, the reason I'm actually going through this is to show you that when you come into here, Okay, activity ID. There we are. It's come through because it was on the trigger. It's come through here as an activity type. But as soon as you do that, what it does is it actually sends through a table. It's only a table of one row. So this apply to each is going to have no effect, as in it's not going to do it multiple times because it's only one row of data because I used measures. But you could have sent a whole table of data through and it would have worked it out. Okay. But because I know it's only going to do it once, it's fine. And so on the section start, it knows I want a number for that. So it's only giving me the number ones. Section name, it thinks it could be anything. So therefore, selected section. Okay. And we are going to go save. And we let it save. If I've got any Power Platform people online, unfortunately, it saves it into your default environment, which is not really where you want it. And no, there isn't a workaround. Yes, I am complaining constantly to Microsoft. The important part is once it's saved, there's another save button that says save and apply. Please press that one. And the important part is to get that green bar that comes up and says they've applied to your button. Then I can go back to the report. Okay, so I can now come into here. I can say that's the beginning of an interval, and I can click Run Flow. Okay, now because this is and hopefully in a second, if I go to, wait a minute, let me get this right. If I go to optimize and refresh the visuals, and I unselect, okay, do you see we've got green? Okay,
yeah.
and that's because, why hasn't that one? That's interesting. That table hasn't done what I thought it was going to do. That table should be showing some data, and it's not. But I can now come into here, and I can go, that's a recovery section, and I can run the flow again. Oh, there we are. It's now appeared.
It's a bit slow.
Did that run? I don't think it did. Possibly ran twice. And I can come up here and I can do my refresh visuals. There you are. It ran twice. That was a mistake. Oh, that's broken, that one. I have to fix that one. But I can't. So there are things it's not perfect. Okay. What I needed to make sure was it doesn't try and add in two at the same point.
Yeah.
Which is what's happened there, which is why it's broken. But it's okay. I'm going to go and fix it some other way. But that's what's happening behind the scenes. So we can go in and we can run it. Okay. The next thing to do. Okay, by the way, let's go back and see if our report has refreshed.
So this is Power BI Desktop, and what we're doing is we're accessing Power Automate from within our Power BI Desktop, because what we've looked at before is using Power Automate to pull in Power BI Desktop. So this is the different way round that we've looked at it, which is why it's slightly different. Yep.
Yes. I'm trying to work out why it's gone from 32 to 34, which is confusing me slightly.
Okay.
I obviously hadn't refreshed properly before when I uploaded the last one, but there is my ride from the 22nd of January that we added in. It's been added in there. Tuscany. It's very pretty, apparently. And if I go to but I haven't got my ad sections in there yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and publish our report. Okay. That's because of my data. So I'm just going to go to my front page. And I am going to go into the home ribbon and we are going to publish and save. So the other part so we've managed to prove we can do write back. Okay, and I've got a video doing exactly what we've just done. Okay, I've got a video doing the first bit, so that's 2 demos done. And we've still got 25 minutes to go. Sorry, we're fine. I've got 2 more demos to do. So the next demo, which is proving to be quite a popular one, is I've got this data. Okay, it's in there. Power BI dataset has got data inside it. What I now want to do, what I now want to be able to do is do something with that pretty data. Okay, so we're going to go back to Power Automate. Okay, and I'm gonna, yeah, I've got it. I've got it. Go away. I'm waiting for this evening for it to turn around and go, would you like to do a survey? The answer is no. So I'm going to do the next flow is, so this could be a scheduled flow. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Grumpy Coach update. And so what we're going to do is don't repeat it every minute. So I used to do once a week. We're not going to do it once a week. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to send it at the end of the month. Right, so repeat every month. Send him a thing. Let's go. It probably should be on the 1st or something like that. And we're going to go create. And what we want to do is or perhaps every 4 weeks we should be doing this actually. What we want to do is we want to pull out the data. Okay, so I'm going to pull the data out from a Power BI data set. And send him it. Okay, we're going to send it as I'm not quite sure at the minute, a Teams message. No, I haven't got a team set up for this, but we'll get there. I'm going to run a query against a data set. And we can go find the workspace. Devon and Cornwall. We're going to go and find the data set. We're going to go find the Strava data. And then it goes query text. And go, oh, what am I going to do with that? I don't know. And so if you are on the latest, oh, that's interesting. If you're on the latest version of Power BI, which I am, we have a DAX query view. Okay. So in here, it gives me a query that I can write. Okay, so I am going to go for calculate table. Okay, as you know, let's keep it simple to begin with. And then we will put a calculate table around it. So I am going to go, and I'm going to get this wrong. We are going to go for a summarize. We're going to go for an activity date. And I'm going to go for an activity name. And I'm going to go for the distance. If my DAX doesn't work, I'm going to cry. Okay, so there we are. We've got our parts going across there. Okay. So we've got our data there. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wrap it in a calculate table, because that will allow me to put in, because I've got all of my rides here going all the way back to 1st of May in 2023. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to put in calendar. Why isn't that working? Coding, I'm mad, aren't I? I want it to be week offset. So is it just, if I just type in offset, is that going to find it for me? No, it is flipping not. I've got 2 brackets on that calculate table. That's possibly not helping. We're going to go for, there we go. Week offset is greater than minus 5. Think that's going to work? You try that?
Should do.
There we go. Only got 4. See? There we go. What's the voting thing, people? So I've written my code there. Okay, that's given me my DAX. If you haven't got the latest version of Power BI, I realize not everybody gets it at work. You can do this through going for optimize and working it through there. Okay, I have 2 versions of 2 videos doing this. If you go to my earlier version, it works. Now, the important part here is to copy that, come back over here. Do not just straight paste. Whatever your method is, okay, paste as plain text, please. If you just go for a paste, it doesn't work. So there we are. I've got I'm hoping that's going to work. I've got my code. And so what I am going to do is I am going to save. And actually, I'm just going to do a quick test that might make sure that's going to work. Because I'm aware that I'm going to have 10 minutes to do the last demo, which is going to be an interesting challenge. That's fine. That's worked fine. So what I can then do with this, and I'm going to do this very quickly, and my apologies that I am doing this very quickly. I do want to get the next part done. So I'm going to create a HTML table. And I'm going to create that HTML table. It's not going to be pretty, I warn you now. But I'm going to create that HTML table from the first table rows. There's a prettier version of this, which I use parse, JSON, and all sorts of nice things. And I'm going to post a message in chat or channel. Oh, that's interesting. And we can post as a Flowbot, and I'm going to post in a channel. Let's see if we can find one quickly. A team.
So this isn't Premier or a premium, is it?
This isn't premium. Posting into Teams is not premium. So we're going to post into demo. That seems like a good idea, doesn't it? So in here, I can put in all sorts of text. I can put in all sorts of things. But actually, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to put in that table, the output from that table. Okay, but we can make that pretty. This could be an email. This could be all sorts of nice things. Okay. And we are going to, once that's saved, we're going to test it. Okay, so now so my flow ran successfully, and let's go and have a look in Teams.
I hadn't thought to post a message in Teams. I've done sending emails to external people. With some help from Christy. I got Christy on board to help me with a bit of the apply to each.
Go away. I don't want that switch now. How do I get rid of that?
Go across somewhere. If you just click off it, will it go?
No. Go away. Okay, fine. We'll let it get there. Right. Okay. So we'll check that Teams version has come up in a second. So the next thing that I'm hoping, if I come into Teams, what did we go for?
Demo.
We went for
right down the bottom, about 2/3.
demo. Look, it's highlighted. Yeah. And look, there we go. At the bottom there. Now, that date time is horrible. So you'd want to do things with that. Yeah. But actually, it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. It's there. It's working. It's, you can see I've done this many times and it didn't look. Look, I rode a bike. But that's things we can do. Okay. Right. So that's me done. Okay, I've now got 10 minutes to do a bit more of a longer demo. Don't ask. Right, let's switch to the other window. So the thing. So I've done a whole bunch of things there. Of we've done a refresh, we've done a write back, we've pulled data out that Power BI has prepared. Okay, but now we want to do. And I'm hoping one of these windows is gonna do it for me. Nope, it's not.
Oh, rebranded to workflows.
What's that?
Christy said that it looks like Power Automate gets rebranded again to workflows.
Really? Microsoft and naming, just don't go there. Microsoft and naming, bad. They're bad at it. So what's the idea is, okay, that a Grumpy Coach, Grumpy Dan. And by the way, he does know that I call him Grumpy Coach. He does know that I use his picture. I have his permission. He's a kickboxing coach. I don't do kickboxing, but he makes me go on rides by encouraging. So the idea is going to be here is to be able to have somewhere that ride there we could put a comment in. That's my idea, right? So the first thing to turn around and say is I want a really simple little app that will just let me add comments here. Okay, so what I did, I did it before I came on here because I thought there's no way I'm going to get a chance to do this one. Is what I did was I went to integrate here, I went to Power Apps, I went create an app, and off it went and did things for me, and it created this app. It is the simplest app in the world. It's not the prettiest thing, but it works. Okay, so I've got my. I'm just gonna cheat a little bit. Oh no, you're not gonna let me do that, are you? I am gonna cheat a little. So what it allows you to do, I'm gonna show it working just for a second. Is it will let you do a plus. You can put things in. It will let you pick one, and you can see it, and I can edit it. So it'll let me do things. Okay. We wanted that to be able to pick a ride and be able to put the comments in about that ride. So filter this to just that ride and pre-populate some things. So I want that to happen in my Power BI report. So I'm just going to close that for a second. And I'm just going to do a refresh and just make sure I'm opening the latest version. So, right. Weirdly, it says 32 again. I'm not quite sure why it says 32. But let's just do a refresh. It'll come up with
Maybe you got a filter on or something.
No, I haven't. I'll worry about that in a second.
Yeah, don't worry.
Not now. So what we want is that we can pick a ride. Okay. We can go and have a look at the detail, or the Grumpy Coach can go and have a look at the details. And I've laid this screen out badly, but never mind. And in here, we want an app. Now, this is where I am going to ignore these issues over here. I really have broken this app. So I'm just going to quickly go back. I'm just quickly going to go and go for a ride that I know works. My apologies, guys. There we go. I want to be able to put an app in here. That's what I've left this space for. The reason I'm showing it you here, the easiest place to edit this and do this is in the published version. You then need to obviously download it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into as I'm going to go to File, and we're going to, no, we're not. We're going to click Edit. That's what I think Edit should be. Okay.
Yeah.
And we are going to, it's gone back to the old way of doing things here. But if you look, there's a little Power Apps icon. Right? Even vaguely fits. And how to get started. So what would you like to use in your app? So what I would like to use is my activity ID measure. Okay. And I'm going to go and choose an app. And I am really hoping, what's this one called? Ride Comments.
Oh, no. Demo 1. It's called Demo 1.
It's called Demo 1. Thank you. Thank you. You
Small
can come again.
case. Small case.
Demo 1. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to click Add. Right? So so I'm going to close it over there for a second. I'm going to close this one, please. Okay, and then I'm going to click go to Power App Studio.
This is brilliant, by the way. I used this several times now.
Let's hope this works. Everybody keep your fingers crossed.
Mm.
Thank you, Fernando. You were paying attention as well, and I wasn't. Beautiful app. Leave me alone. I could cry, you know. And we're going to click skip. Okay. So so we're now in my app, and the important part here is this Power BI integration. Okay. So what I'm going to do in here is we're going to come into here, and we're going to do a filter in here. And so I've got this is what's known as a gallery. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a filter. We've already got one filter in there. Okay, so that's inside my filter, and I'm just going to put another filter in there. Read only. Oh, override. I closed that window without it liking me doing that. So we're going to go inside there, and we're going to put in 2 ands. 5 minutes. This is going to be a bit of a challenge, guys. So
I've got my kit ready. So
title
you can have another 5
equals Power BI integration dot data. Why is that not giving me what I wanted to give? First, God. My apologies, guys. Because you could be sending through a table. Okay, we need to say it's the first in that row, exactly the same as we did in Power Automate. Power Automate had a table as well. We could have done first there as well, but there we go. It's going for.
If you got the title in the wrong place, title equals, because you've got dot title after. Is that right? Can't see. Has it got a red squiggle?
No, that squiggle
Is that
there.
just my screen? It's just my screen.
It thinks activity ID is a date. That's not fun.
Cool.
Apologies, guys. It's using a date, and that's not what I expected it to be using, but it's okay. We're going to fix it. I'm just going to make sure I got that on the...
I have got as well, Laura, PDFs with all the instructions. I can pop in as well.
Let me just put this in. I think I can get away with this. So we're going to put in hyphen hyphen DD. Wow. This is not going to go. This is not going the way I wanted it to go, guys. My apologies.
Didn't we have to do a selected? Did we ever say? Oh, we've got that with the activity ID measure. Starts with. I've got on mine. Filter client list starts with.
Yeah, that's because we did a slightly different one for you. We did a slightly different one for you. So I've got my activity. Do you know what? We're going to do something. We're going to... Why isn't that working? My apologies, guys. So I'm going to go for that activity ID. It's a date. So therefore... I'm gonna quickly go and cheat. I am going to enter there. I am going to go and take out of that, or this might break it. So let me just go and see if I can put in the name of the activity instead.
Yeah, dates are notorious. Power Automate, the dates in there are just horrid, aren't they?
So what we're going to do is I'm going to come back to this Power App. I am going to close it without saving it. I'm then going to come into here, and we're then going to click Edit.
Who said that? I could do a blog post about tips on how I put rigor into speakers delivering on time. That's just mean.
I like it. So
and now Fernando's doing blogging you with clocks.
What I'm hoping is I can convince it to give me the right things here, and I can't convince it to give me the right things here. My apologies, guys. This demo is not going to happen, which means I am going to do this video this weekend. I promise. So my aim was meant to be that in Power BI you can embed. So if I go back into the report here, that we can embed into here. So what you do is you'd resize it so that it all fits and it all looks nice, etc. And then somebody could come into here. They can press the plus button and they can put in the parts. Okay, so they can put in the parts. He can add in his comments. I'd have got rid of the attachments and would have gone tick, and it would be filtered to just this activity. Okay, so that was the plan.
And it does work. It does work.
We've not managed to get it to work. But what I am going to very, very briefly, very quickly, I promise only seconds. I will give this slide deck to Sue so she can put it up on her GitHub, so that you've got the links. Here are the ones. There will be another one put up here, which will be the embedding a Power App. Okay, I will do that. I promise this weekend.
And what I have as well is I've got a PDF of step-by-step how to do it that Laura and I went through. So I'll put that into the GitHub as well. And it literally takes you through point by point how, I'll share the screen in a minute and show you. So I'll put that in GitHub.
So the point I failed over there was it was a date. And so my apologies on that one. The important part to understand, though, is you've got to have the Power BI published and before you start playing with it inside the app. That's the bit which I've fallen over on before. You've got to publish it, do it from there, get it working, and then download it. Okay, so you can then use it in desktop, but get it working up in there first.
Can I just share my screen and then you can talk? You can talk through it. So we'll put this. Can you see this? Okay. So we'll put this in the GitHub, but when Laura and I went through it, this is a step-by-step which tells you how to, create the report, check your selected value, have a list with a column to hold that selected value. And so you can go through it point by point. And this is the code where Laura was saying the date was failing down. We had a selected ID, which was a text. So so it will then take you through each bit so that you can see how it all works. But it's something that I'm using all the time in several pieces of work that I've done that are being used in production. And it's incredibly, incredibly useful.
Just picking up one of the points that's just been put into put into the chat. Be careful when refreshing. Automated refreshing, that you can overflow your refreshes. Okay, so there's a couple of things that can happen. One is you have too many refreshes that hit each other. So if I had uploaded 5 files, each one would have tried to trigger a refresh, they would have failed. Also, if you don't have, if you are not on a premium capacity, you only have 8 refreshes. I want to stop sharing, Darren, because we're all seeing.
Oh, you're all seeing me.
So if you are on an interesting one here, if you are on premium, Power Automate refreshes are awesome because you can do as many as you like. You are not limited to 48. You can only just schedule 48. You can actually have one running every 5 minutes. I've got flows doing that for certain clients. But that's how that. But so they're the points that work. So the points I want you to take away today is Power Automate does some awesome things, and it can work with Power BI. And I think there are more things coming. I don't know this, but this isn't an MVP breaking NDA. I've heard vague rumors that there is on the roadmap some more Power Automate things coming with Fabric, and because there's some more API calls coming. The Power BI API calls is my next project after obviously I do your video at the weekend. And that's me done. I'm just now.
You finished. That was really interesting to watch. And it just shows the change in basically what you can do with the whole Power Platform infrastructure. It's something I've referred to. I'm using more and more with every customer as solutions for various issues that they want resolving.
So a huge thank you to Laura for a fascinating session showing us all about the different options that we can use Power BI, Power Automate and Power Apps as part of the Power Platform group of tools. So just to summarise, these are the next sessions that are coming up and hopefully we will see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.